Admiral Olivia Martinez stared at the holographic display showing the remains of humanity's fleet. Only 43 ships out of 200 survived the battle at Proxima Centauri. She rubbed her tired eyes, trying to focus. They'll reach Jupiter's moons in 6 days, said Lieutenant Ryan Collins, pointing to the red dots representing the Crixian warships. Earth has maybe 3 weeks after that. The command center of Earth Defense Headquarters was quiet. Most officers had stopped talking hours ago. The defeat at Proxima Centauri had crushed their spirits. How many civilians on the Jupiter stations? Olivia asked. Almost 5 million, said Commander Samantha Blackwell. Her face was scarred from a previous battle with the Crixians. We've started evacuations, but we need more time. Olivia nodded. Time was the one thing they didn't have. The Crixian Empire had appeared in human space 2 years ago. At first, they seemed interested in trade. Then, without warning, they attacked the outer colonies. Their ships were partly organic, able to heal damage during battle. Their weapons cut through human shields like they weren't even there. We should consider talking to them, said General Peter Howard. He was the oldest military leader left. Maybe we can surrender with terms that save some lives. The Crixians don't take prisoners, sir, said Samantha. They've killed every human they've captured. Ryan Collins cleared his throat. Admiral, I have an idea. It's not conventional, but at this point, Lieutenant, I'll take any ideas, Olivia said. Ryan brought up a file on the main screen. Project Prometheus. It's a secret program developing neural-enhanced battlesuits. General Howard frowned. Those tests killed most of the volunteers. That was the early version, Ryan said. Dr. Wright has made breakthroughs. The suits work now, but they permanently change the person wearing them. Olivia looked at the data. The suits increased human strength and speed by 10 times. The neural link let soldiers react faster than any normal human could. And we have these suits ready? She asked. 30 prototypes, Ryan said. We need volunteers who know they might never be the same again. Olivia stared at the display showing the Crixian fleet moving toward Earth. Make the call. Dr. Alan Wright led Olivia and Ryan through the underground facility in the Appalachian Mountains. The elevator took them deeper than Olivia expected. How long has this been here? She asked. Project Prometheus started right after the first Crixian attack, Alan said. The government knew we needed something to match their strength. They entered a large room with high ceilings. In the center stood Major Eric Daniels watching several soldiers in training exercises. Admiral on deck, Eric called out. The soldiers stopped and stood at attention. At ease, Olivia said. Major Daniels, I've come about your success with the neural interface. Eric nodded and led them to a viewing area overlooking a testing chamber. We've had our first successful neural bonding. Captain Rivera, would you demonstrate? A woman in a black bodysuit entered the chamber below. Captain, Lisa Rivera looked ordinary until she put on what looked like a thin metal backpack. The moment it touched her spine, silvery lines spread across her body, covering her in a second skin of metal and circuitry. Beginning combat trial, said a voice over the speakers. 6 combat robots entered the chamber, each twice the size of Lisa. She stood calmly, waiting. The robots attacked all at once. What happened next made Olivia's jaw drop. Lisa moved so fast, she seemed to blur. She jumped 15 feet into the air, flipped over the first robot, and punched straight through its metal chest. Before the others could react, she was already attacking the second and third robots. In less than 30 seconds, all 6 robots lay destroyed. This is what the neural enhancement does, Alan explained. The suit connects directly to the brain, bypassing normal human limitations. Captain Rivera can process information 10 times faster than normal and has strength that matches Crixian soldiers. Lisa removed her suit and joined them. Her eyes had a strange glow to them. The changes are permanent, she said, seeing Olivia notice her eyes. The neural pathways adapt to the faster processing speed. I can't go back to being normal now. Is it painful? Olivia asked. The bonding process is, Lisa admitted. And everything seems too slow now when I'm not wearing the suit. But it's worth it if we can stop the Crixians. 3 days later, Olivia addressed 30 volunteers. They stood in a line in the underground facility, each one a soldier who had seen what the Crixians did to human colonies. I won't lie to you, she said. This process will change you forever. Once the neural bonding is complete, you won't be the same. Some of you might not survive the procedure. But without this, Earth will fall. Sergeant William Porter stepped forward. With respect, Admiral, we've all made our choice. We've seen what happens when the Crixians win. If changing ourselves gives humanity a chance, we're ready. Dr. Grace Nelson, the neuroscientist who designed the neural interface, explained the process. Your brains will form new connections with the suit. This will enhance your natural abilities and let you process information much faster. The suits will become part of you. The volunteers went to prepare for the procedure. Olivia watched them, feeling both hope and guilt. You're asking a lot of them, Eric said, standing beside her. Too much, Olivia admitted. But what choice do we have? News arrived that the Crixian fleet had destroyed the Jupiter defense stations. Millions of civilians died trying to evacuate. On Earth, people packed into evacuation centers, though everyone knew there was nowhere to run. In the medical wing of the Prometheus facility, Olivia watched as the volunteers underwent the neural bonding procedure. Sergeant Porter was strapped to a table, a metallic device connected to his spine. His body arched in pain as the neural pathways formed. His vitals are stable, said Dr. Nelson, monitoring the process. The bond is taking. Alan studied the readings. Something interesting is happening. The human brain is adapting faster than we expected. It's almost like... Like what? Olivia asked. Like the human mind was made for this, Alan said. The Crixians evolved on a high-gravity world. They're naturally stronger than us, but humans are more adaptable. Our brains form new connections more easily. One by one, the volunteers completed the process. 27 survived. They stood together, their eyes now glowing slightly, their movements precise and controlled. Captain Rivera, now using the call sign Phoenix, spoke for the group. We're ready, Admiral. When do we fight? Olivia looked at the soldiers who had given up their humanity to save Earth. The Crixian scout ships will reach Mars tomorrow. That's where you'll make first contact. As the newly enhanced soldiers prepared for battle, Olivia wondered if they could really turn the tide of a war that seemed already lost. But watching them move with impossible speed and strength, she felt something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. The underground facility hummed with activity as the 27 enhanced soldiers prepared for their first mission. Each wore a thin bodysuit that would connect with their neural implants. The suits were black with faint silver lines running through them, matching the metallic glow in the soldiers' eyes. Major Eric Daniels entered the armory where the soldiers were checking their equipment. They moved with strange grace, too fluid and precise to be normal. How do you feel? Eric asked. Sergeant Porter, now going by the call sign Anvil. Different, Anvil said. His voice was calm, almost too calm. Everything seems slow. I can see the dust particles in the air. I can hear your heartbeat from across the room. Phoenix approached them, carrying what looked like a small pistol. The neural link also changes how we think. I can process multiple problems at once now. It's like having several brains working together. Dr. Nelson monitored their vital signs through a tablet. Your bodies are still adjusting. The neural pathways are still forming. You might experience some discomfort. Lieutenant Frank Miller, call sign Ghost, smiled slightly. Discomfort is better than what Earth will feel if we fail. The enhanced soldiers moved to the training area for their final exercises before deployment. Standard training dummies were useless now. They practiced against high-speed robotic opponents programmed to mimic Crixian movements. Corporal Diane Washington, call sign Quicksilver, moved through the combat simulation like a blur. She disabled 10 robots in under 15 seconds. Admiral Martinez watched from the observation deck with Dr. Wright and Dr. Nelson. They're faster than we expected, Alan said, checking the data. Their reaction times are beyond anything we've measured before. Grace nodded. The human brain is surprisingly adaptable. Their neural networks have reconfigured themselves to process information at incredible speeds. Are they still human? Olivia asked quietly. Grace looked troubled. Biologically, yes, but their experience of the world is fundamentally different now. They perceive time differently. Their emotional responses are changing too. Changing how? Olivia asked. They're more focused, less distracted by fear or doubt, Grace explained. It's not that they don't feel emotions, but they process them differently, more efficiently. Olivia watched as Phoenix took down a simulation of a Crixian heavy trooper with her bare hands. Will they be able to return to normal life after this? No, Alan said simply. The changes are permanent. Even if we remove the implants, their brains have been rewired. They'll never perceive the world the way they did before. The Prometheus soldiers boarded their stealth transport ship. The vessel was small, designed to slip past Crixian sensors rather than engage in direct combat. Its hull was coated with materials that absorbed rather than reflected scans. Phoenix took command, with Anvil as her second. Ghost handled navigation, while Quicksilver monitored enemy communications. The rest of the team secured their equipment and prepared for the mission. Mission parameters are clear, Phoenix said, her voice steady. We intercept the Crixian scout vessel near Mars, capture it intact if possible, and gather intelligence on their main fleet. The transport lifted off from the hidden base and accelerated toward Mars. The journey would take 12 hours at maximum speed. Crixian forces have destroyed the Mars research colonies, Ghost reported, looking at the sensor data. No survivors detected. Anvil checked his weapon, a modified pulse rifle designed to penetrate Crixian armor. They never leave survivors. Phoenix studied the tactical display. The scout vessel will pass near Phobos in approximately 10 hours. We'll intercept them there. As they traveled, the soldiers checked their equipment one final time. The Neuralink allowed them to interface directly with their weapons and the ship's systems. Information flowed directly into their minds without the need for screens or displays. Do you ever think about what happens if we win? Asked Quicksilver, her fingers moving rapidly over the communications console. When we win, corrected Ghost. We're too different now, Anvil said. There's no going back to who we were. Phoenix looked at her team. We knew the cost when we volunteered. This isn't about our future. It's about making sure humanity has one. The Crixian scout ship moved through the Martian orbit, its organic metal, hull shimmering slightly as it changed color to match the surrounding space. It was 3 times larger than the human transport, with weapons that could destroy a normal human vessel in seconds. Holding position behind Phobos, Ghost said, his fingers dancing over the controls without looking. Crixian vessel approaching in 3 minutes. Phoenix addressed her team. Remember, Crixians are physically stronger than unenhanced humans. Their reaction times are fast, but ours should be faster now. Their armor is vulnerable at the joints. Their vision is primarily motion-based. If you move slowly enough, they have trouble seeing you. The transport ship powered down to minimum systems, hiding in Phobos's shadow as the Crixian vessel passed nearby. Now, Phoenix ordered. The transport surged forward, closing the distance to the Crixian ship before its sensors could detect the approach. The 27 enhanced soldiers moved to the airlock, their suits now fully activated, covering them in a second skin of responsive metal and circuitry. Boarding in 10 seconds, Ghost announced. The transport attached itself to the Crixian ship's hull. Special cutting tools created an opening large enough for the soldiers to enter. They moved in groups of 3, flowing through the breach like mercury. Inside, the Crixian ship was warm and humid. The walls pulsed slightly, a reminder of the vessel's partially organic nature. The first group of Crixian soldiers they encountered were caught by surprise. The Crixians were tall, easily 7 feet, with ridged exoskeletons and 4 arms. They reached for their weapons, but the enhanced humans moved faster than the aliens could track. Phoenix reached the first Crixian before it could raise its weapon. Her enhanced strength allowed her to punch through its chest armor, striking vital organs. Anvil and Ghost took down 2 more with precise shots to the joint areas where the armor was weakest. The Prometheus soldiers moved through the ship like ghosts. Their neural enhancements allowed them to process the ship's layout instantly, identifying optimal paths and potential threats. "Command center ahead," Phoenix said through the neural link that connected all the soldiers. 12 Crixians inside. The team positioned themselves around the entrances to the command center. With perfect synchronization, they breached the doors from 3 directions simultaneously. The Crixian commander, a larger specimen with more elaborate armor, barked orders in their clicking language. The bridge crew raised weapons, but they were too slow. The battle lasted 9 seconds. When it ended, all Crixians were down, and the enhanced humans had control of the ship. Phoenix approached the main console. She placed her hand on the interface, and to everyone's surprise, the neural implants in her brain began to interact with the Crixian systems. "I can access their database," she said, her eyes moving rapidly as information flowed into her mind. "The main fleet is commanded by High Commander Tazaral. They have a dreadnought called the Void Cleaver. It's enormous." Anvil joined her at the console. "Any weaknesses?" "Their ships are controlled through a neural network, similar to our implants but on a larger scale," Phoenix said. "They never expected to encounter another species with neural technology. There might be a way to use that against them." Ghost secured the ship's communication systems. "We should inform Earth Command of our success." Phoenix nodded, still connected to the Crixian systems. "Tell them we've captured the scout ship intact, and tell them we've found a potential weakness in the Crixian fleet. For the first time since the war began, humanity had won a battle against the Crixians. It was small, just 1 ship, but it was a start." As Phoenix downloaded the Crixian tactical data, she allowed herself a brief moment of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could save Earth after all. Admiral Martinez could hardly believe the report in front of her. The enhanced soldiers had captured a Crixian scout ship with no casualties on their side. It was the first victory against the aliens since the war began. "They're bringing the ship to Earth orbit," she told the gathered military leaders in the command center. "Phoenix says they discovered valuable information about the Crixian fleet." General Howard shook his head in amazement. "One small team did what our entire fleet couldn't do." "The neural enhancements worked better than expected," said Dr. Wright, who had just arrived from the Prometheus facility. "Their ability to process information and react is beyond anything we predicted." Commander Blackwell studied the tactical display showing the Crixian main fleet approaching Earth. "Will it be enough?" "There are thousands of Crixian ships coming." Olivia had no answer for that. Even with enhanced soldiers, they were still badly outnumbered. The captured Crixian scout ship, now under human control, docked at a secret orbital station above Earth. Phoenix and her team exited first, their movements fluid and precise. Admiral Martinez met them in the docking bay. This was her first time seeing the enhanced soldiers since the procedure, and she was struck by how different they seemed. They moved too smoothly. Their eyes glowed faintly, and they scanned the room in a way that seemed more machine than human. "Captain Rivera, Phoenix," Olivia corrected herself. "Congratulations on your success." Phoenix nodded. "Thank you, Admiral. We've discovered critical information about the Crixian command structure and their dreadnought, the Void Cleaver." They moved to a secure briefing room. The enhanced soldiers stood while everyone else sat, as if sitting felt unnatural to them. "Now, the Crixian ships are partly organic," Phoenix explained, displaying images from the captured vessel. "They're controlled through a neural network similar to our implants, but on a larger scale. Their entire fleet is connected through this network. Can we use that against them?" Olivia asked. "Possibly," said Ghost. "When we interfaced with their systems, they had no defenses against us. They never expected to encounter another species with neural technology." Anvil continued the explanation. "Their High Commander Tazral directly controls the fleet through this network. He's never lost a battle and believes humans are physically inferior." Dr. Nelson, who had accompanied Dr. Wright to the station, studied the Prometheus soldiers with concern. "How are you all adapting to the neural changes?" "We're functioning at optimal capacity," Quicksilver replied, her voice unnervingly even. Grace looked troubled by this response. Are you experiencing any discomfort or unusual thoughts? Phoenix seemed to understand the doctor's concern. We're still human, Dr. Nelson. We just process information differently now. Emotions are more controlled, easier to compartmentalize. Olivia reviewed the tactical data they had gathered. According to this, the main Crixian fleet will reach Earth in 3 days. Their dreadnought has enough firepower to destroy our remaining defenses in hours. We have a plan, Phoenix said. We need to attack the Void Cleaver directly. If we can capture or disable it, we might be able to disrupt the entire Crixian command structure. That's suicide, said General Howard. Even with your enhancements, you can't take on an entire dreadnought. We can, Anvil said with absolute certainty. Our neural interfaces give us an advantage they don't expect. We can move faster than their tracking systems and interface with their technology. Olivia looked at the enhanced soldiers. They were humanity's last hope. What do you need from us? High Commander Tazral stood on the command deck of the Void Cleaver, watching as his fleet approached the human homeworld. He was tall even for a Crixian, with a heavily armored exoskeleton and ceremonial scars marking his many victories. Status of the human defenses? He asked his second-in-command. Minimal resistance expected, High Commander, replied Sub-Commander Vexicor. Their remaining fleet is gathered around their planet. They have nowhere left to run. Tazral clicked his mandibles in satisfaction. These humans are strange creatures, physically weak, yet they continue to fight long after any sensible species would surrender. We lost contact with scout vessel, Dagger 6 near the Red Planet, Vexicor reported. A malfunction, most likely. Tazral dismissed the concern. No human weapon has penetrated our armor. Prepare the fleet for the final assault. What Tazral didn't know was that 30 specialized assault craft were about to launch from Earth. Each carried a small team of enhanced human soldiers. The assault craft were small and fast, designed to avoid detection. The enhanced soldiers sat silently inside, their neural implants connecting them to their ship's systems. All teams report ready, Ghost said, looking at Phoenix. She nodded. Remember the plan. Teams 1 through 10 target the support ships. Teams 11 through 20 focus on the cruisers. Our team goes straight for the Void Cleaver. The craft launched silently from Earth's orbit, accelerating toward the approaching Crixian fleet. Thanks to technology from the captured scout ship, they were able to mimic Crixian signatures, allowing them to approach unchallenged. 2 minutes to contact, Anvil announced. Phoenix looked at her team. Once we're aboard the Void Cleaver, we head straight for the central neural hub. If we can disrupt it, we might be able to disable their entire fleet. The assault craft slipped between the massive Crixian warships. The Void Cleaver dominated the center of the formation, a massive vessel that looked like a cross between a living creature and a machine. Its surface rippled slightly, armor plates shifting to protect vulnerable areas. They've spotted us, Quicksilver announced. Defensive systems activating. Energy weapons fired from the Crixian ships, but the small, human craft were too fast and maneuverable. The enhanced soldiers' reaction times allowed them to navigate between the energy blasts with perfect precision. Phoenix's craft reached the hull of the Void Cleaver. Magnetic clamps secured them to the surface, and cutting tools began to create an entry point. We're in, Anvil said as the hull breached. The enhanced soldiers moved into the Crixian flagship, their bodies covered in the responsive metal of their suits. Inside, the ship was warm and humid, with corridors that seemed partly grown rather than built. Crixian soldiers moved to intercept them, but the enhanced humans were faster. Phoenix dodged an energy blast and closed with the first Crixian, her enhanced strength allowing her to tear through its armor. Anvil engaged 2 more, moving so quickly the aliens couldn't track him. This way, Ghost said, accessing a mental map of the ship they had taken from the scout vessel. Neural Hub is 3 levels down. They fought their way through the ship, surprising the Crixians with their speed and strength. The aliens had never faced humans who could match or exceed their physical abilities. As they approached the Neural Hub, they encountered heavier resistance. Elite Crixian guards with advanced armor and weapons blocked their path. Tazral knows we're here, Phoenix said, taking cover as energy blasts struck around them. He's protecting the hub. Quicksilver analyzed the situation in milliseconds. There's another way in through the maintenance tunnels. The enhanced soldiers moved with perfect coordination, some providing covering fire while others slipped into narrow tunnels that ran between the ship's main corridors. These spaces were designed for maintenance drones, not warriors, but the humans moved through them easily. They emerged directly into the neural hub, a large chamber filled with pulsing organic-looking technology. In the center stood High Commander Tazral, his armor more elaborate than the other Crixians. He turned to face the humans, mandibles clicking in surprise. "Impossible," he said in heavily accented English. "No human can move like that." Phoenix stepped forward. "We're something new, Commander, something you didn't prepare for." For the first time in his long military career, Tazral felt something unfamiliar. Fear. Tazral recovered quickly from his surprise. He raised his energy weapon and fired at Phoenix. She moved with impossible speed, dodging the blast and closing the distance between them in less than a second. "Your weapons are useless if they can't hit us," Phoenix said, knocking the weapon from Tazral's hands. The Crixian commander used all 4 of his arms to strike back, his natural strength impressive even without weapons. But the enhanced humans were faster, their neural implants allowing them to predict his movements before he made them. Anvil and Ghost engaged the other Crixians in the room, while Quicksilver moved to the neural hub controls. She placed her hands on the interface, letting her neural implants connect with the Crixian system. "I'm in their network," she said, her eyes moving rapidly as information flowed into her mind. "It's complex, but similar enough to our technology that I can navigate it." Phoenix dodged another attack from Tazral and struck back, her enhanced strength cracking his armor. The Crixian commander hissed in pain and surprise. "What are you?" he demanded. "No human has ever damaged my battle armor. We are humanity's answer to extinction," Phoenix replied, continuing her attack. "We gave up our normal lives to stop you." Across the Void Cleaver, other enhanced human teams were securing key systems. Similar battles were happening throughout the Crixian fleet as the remaining Prometheus soldiers targeted enemy ships. In Earth's orbit, Admiral Martinez watched the tactical display with growing hope. The Crixian fleet, which had moved with perfect coordination before, now seemed confused. Ships were breaking formation, some firing on empty space. "What's happening?" she asked Dr. Wright, who was monitoring the enhanced soldiers' neural activity. "They're disrupting the Crixian neural network," Alan explained. "The entire fleet is connected through it. Our soldiers are creating chaos in their system." On the Void Cleaver, Quicksilver worked quickly at the neural hub. "I found their command protocols. If I can override them, we might be able to shut down their weapon systems." Tazral realized what she was doing and broke away from his fight with Phoenix. "Stop! You'll destroy us all!" He lunged toward Quicksilver. Anvil intercepted him, moving faster than the Crixian could track. "Not today," he said, driving his fist into a crack in Tazral's armor. The Crixian commander fell back, green blood seeping from the wound. Phoenix joined Quicksilver at the control interface. "What have you found?" "Their entire fleet is controlled through this hub," Quicksilver explained. "Tazral uses it to direct thousands of ships at once, but it has a weakness. If we send a specific shutdown command through the network, we might be able to temporarily disable their ships." "Do it," Phoenix ordered. Quicksilver's fingers moved across the alien controls, her neural implants allowing her to understand the Crixian technology. "Sending shutdown command now." Throughout the Crixian fleet, systems began to fail. Weapon platforms powered down, engines stopped. Communication systems went silent. Tazral watched in horror as his mighty armada became helpless. "What have you done?" he demanded. "We've given humanity a chance," Phoenix replied. On Earth, Admiral Martinez received reports of the Crixian fleet's sudden power loss. She immediately ordered the remaining human ships to move in. "All vessels, target the disabled Crixian ships," she commanded. "Priority on their weapon systems and engines. We want to make sure they stay down." Commander Blackwell looked at the display in amazement. "It's working. The Crixians are vulnerable." "What about our people on those ships?" Olivia asked Dr. Wright. "They're still active," he reported. monitoring their neural signatures. The shutdown didn't affect their implants. On the Void Cleaver, Tazaral had ordered his personal guard to the neural hub. Enhanced humans fought Crixian elites in brutal close combat throughout the massive ship. Phoenix, her suit damaged from multiple energy weapon hits, faced Tazaral again. The Crixian commander had activated his own neural enhancement, a technology reserved only for the highest-ranking Crixians. "You are more than I expected, human," Tazaral admitted, his movements now faster than before. "But I have conquered 17 worlds. I will not lose to a species as young as yours." "Age doesn't matter," Phoenix replied. "Adaptability does. That's always been humanity's strength." They clashed again, moving so quickly that normal eyes couldn't follow. Tazral's experience and natural strength made him a formidable opponent, even against Phoenix's enhancements. Quicksilver worked frantically at the neural hub. "Something's wrong. The system is trying to restart. Tazral must have a backup protocol." Ghost joined her, his own neural implants connecting to the system. "We need to send a more permanent shutdown command, something that will disable their fleet long enough for our ships to disable them." Anvil fought off 3 elite Crixian guards, his movements blurring as he dodged energy blasts and struck with enhanced strength. "Whatever you're doing, do it fast." Across the Crixian fleet, systems were beginning to come back online. The window of opportunity was closing. Phoenix realized they needed a more permanent solution. As she fought Tazaral, she accessed the knowledge they had gained from the captured scout ship. There was one option left. "Quicksilver," she called out, "access the fleet's self-preservation protocols. Every ship has them." Quicksilver understood immediately. "If I can trigger the emergency shutdown, it will keep their systems offline for at least an hour." "Do it," Phoenix ordered, blocking a powerful strike from Tazaral. Tazaral realized what they were planning. "No, stop them," he ordered his remaining guards. But it was too late. Quicksilver had accessed the emergency systems. With a few final commands, she triggered the protocol. Throughout the Crixian fleet, systems shut down completely. Emergency lights activated as the ships entered their most basic survival mode, designed to preserve the crew at the cost of all offensive capabilities. Tazaral roared in anger as his mighty armada became helpless. For the first time in his long career of conquest, he faced defeat. "Surrender, Commander," Phoenix said, standing over the wounded Crixian. "Your fleet is disabled. Earth ships are moving in now. This war is over." Tazaral stared at the human with his alien eyes. How? How did creatures as fragile as humans defeat the Crixian Empire? "We were willing to change ourselves to survive," Phoenix replied, "to become something new. That's what you never understood about us." Outside, Earth's remaining ships moved among the disabled Crixian vessels, targeting weapons and propulsion systems to ensure they couldn't reactivate. For the first time since the Crixian invasion began, humanity had the upper hand. The war wasn't over yet, but the tide had turned. Admiral Martinez's voice came through Phoenix's comm system. "Captain, status report." Phoenix looked at Tazaral, the once mighty commander now defeated. "The Void Cleaver is secure, Admiral. The Crixian fleet is disabled. We've won this battle." Across Earth, people watched in disbelief as news spread of the impossible victory. The enhanced soldiers, who had given up their humanity to save their species, had accomplished what no one thought possible. They had defeated the undefeatable. 3 days after the battle, Admiral Martinez stood on the observation deck of Earth Defense Headquarters. Below, the blue planet seemed peaceful, though scars from Crixian attacks marked some areas. Above, the captured alien ships floated in orbit, now under human control. The door opened and Phoenix entered. Like all the enhanced soldiers, she moved with unnatural grace. Her eyes still had that metallic glow, a constant reminder of how much she had changed. "Admiral," she greeted Olivia. "You wanted to see me." "Yes. The Crixian leaders are ready to discuss surrender terms," Olivia said. "You should be there. You made this possible." Phoenix looked out at Earth. "We all did. Every soldier who fought, every civilian who kept going despite the attacks." "How are the others?" Olivia asked. 12 of the enhanced soldiers died in the battle, Phoenix said, her voice steady but with a hint of sadness. The rest of us are adapting to our new existence. She didn't need to elaborate. The neural enhancements had changed them permanently. They processed information differently, experienced time differently. They could never return to normal human life. Anvil took it the hardest, Phoenix continued. He has a family. Children. They're afraid of what he's become. Olivia nodded sadly. The victory had come at a great cost, not just in lives lost, but in lives forever altered. The meeting with the Crixian delegation took place aboard a neutral station in Earth orbit. Tazral, now a prisoner of war, sat with 3 other high-ranking Crixians. Their once proud posture was gone, replaced by defeat. Admiral Martinez led the human delegation with Phoenix, Dr. Wright, and General Howard beside her. Your fleet is disabled, Olivia stated. Your dreadnought is under our control. Are you authorized to surrender on behalf of the Crixian Empire? Tazral's alien eyes fixed on Phoenix. Yes. The High Council has granted me this authority, though they never expected I would need to use it. These are our terms, Olivia said, displaying a document. Immediate withdrawal of all Crixian forces from human space. Return of all human prisoners. Reparations for destroyed colonies. And what guarantees do we have that you won't use your new warriors to attack our homeworld? Tazral asked, gesturing to Phoenix. You've created soldiers that can defeat our best forces. What stops you from becoming conquerors yourselves? Unlike you, we don't seek to conquer, Olivia replied firmly. We only want peace and the right to exist. Phoenix stepped forward. The enhancements were a last resort, not a new direction, for humanity. We sacrificed our normal lives to stop your invasion. Tazral studied her. Sacrifice. This is a concept we Crixians understand poorly. Our empire was built on strength, not sacrifice. Perhaps that's why you lost, Phoenix said. Simply after hours of negotiation, the Crixians accepted the terms. The war that had nearly ended humanity was officially over. 1 month later, Phoenix stood with the surviving enhanced soldiers in a special facility built for them. Their unique needs made living among unenhanced humans difficult. They processed information too quickly, moved too fast, saw and heard things others couldn't. What happens to us now? Asked Quicksilver, looking around at the facility. The war is over. Do we just live here, separated from everyone else? Ghost shrugged. What choice do we have? We're not fully human anymore. Dr. Nelson entered the room, carrying new data on their condition. We've been studying your neural patterns, she said. The changes are permanent, but you might be able to learn to control them better, to slow yourselves down when interacting with others. And if we can't? Anvil asked. Grace had no good answer for that. Phoenix looked at her fellow soldiers. We knew the cost when we volunteered. We gave up our normal lives to save humanity. And now we don't fit in the world we saved, Ghost said quietly. Admiral Martinez visited them later that day. She brought news from the government. The world knows what you did, she told them. How you sacrificed yourselves to save Earth. The president wants to honor you publicly. As heroes or as curiosities? Anvil asked. Olivia didn't sugarcoat it. Both, probably. You're something new, something people don't understand yet. Phoenix stepped forward. Admiral, we've been discussing our future. We can't go back to normal lives, but we can still serve. There are other threats out there besides the Crixians. What are you suggesting? Olivia asked. A new division, Phoenix explained. Enhanced soldiers serving as Earth's defenders against any future alien threats. We've already changed. Let us use that change to protect humanity. 6 months later, a ceremony took place at the newly established Prometheus Command Center. The 15 surviving enhanced soldiers stood in formation as world leaders and military officials gathered to officially recognize their new role. Admiral Martinez, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, addressed the crowd. Today, we honor those who gave everything to save our world. These soldiers volunteered for a mission from which they knew they could never return unchanged. They sacrificed their normal lives so that humanity could survive. Phoenix, officially appointed as commander of the Prometheus Division, stepped forward to speak. The crowd fell silent, some watching with awe, others with unease at her too perfect movements and glowing eyes. "We are not the same as we once were," she said, her voice carrying easily through the large hall. "The neural enhancements changed us permanently. We see the world differently now, process information differently, move differently." She looked at her fellow enhanced soldiers before continuing. "But in the most important ways, we are still human. We still feel. We still care about our world and our species. And we will continue to protect humanity, not because we are ordered to, but because it is still our home." As she spoke, news came in of a new contact at the edge of the solar system. Unknown ships, not Crixian, had appeared near Neptune. The enhanced soldiers received the information directly through their neural implants. They exchanged glances, ready for whatever might come next. "It seems our work isn't done yet," Phoenix said, looking toward the stars. "Humanity faced extinction once and survived. Whatever comes next, we'll be ready." The Prometheus soldiers moved with perfect unity toward their ships. They were different now, changed in ways that separated them from other humans. But they had found a new purpose, guardians of a species that now had a second chance. As their ships launched toward the unknown contact, Phoenix felt something she hadn't experienced since before the enhancements. Pride. Not in herself, but in humanity. A species that, when faced with inevitable defeat, had found a way to change the meaning of the word inevitable. Earth watched as its guardians headed once more into space. The victory against the Crixians had taught humanity an important lesson. Nothing was truly unstoppable. Not even the most powerful enemy in the galaxy could stand against humans willing to sacrifice everything to protect their home. The age of humanity in the stars had only just begun,